Good evening, everyone. Doesn't look like anybody's in here yet, but I'll just kind of give it a minute and see if people join. Joe Unfiltered, Big Daddy himself. You're number one on my first stream. There's Sheena. Now I got to figure out how to make more. There you go. I'll do that. Sorry, this is my first stream again, Al. Gordon's Pub. I'm jumping into the fray of starting my own YouTube channel. I'd say with the support of some good friends like Joe and Keenan and Joe Waters, and hey, there's Alan coming into the channel. Sheena, where's Andrew? Hey, Card, welcome to my first stream. I don't think I know what the hell I'm doing. I think tonight's just kind of a, I don't know, meet and greet. Obviously, I know like pretty much everybody that's in there so far. This is set to public, but I don't know how long it takes for YouTube to start, kind of showing me that I'm available. But I was going to probably make this one a little bit short, just to, like I said, just introduce myself and Hardy Sippin. Joe, I didn't know if you saw the new Ben Holiday came out today, the new 8-year. I'm going to crack that open and give that a try. I just got into Colorado today. Hey, Andrew, what's going on? Let me, come on. Like I said, oh yeah, Mom Spencer's in here. I feel really special. Got half of the I'll say Unfiltered's family in here. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen here for a second I was able to set a couple people that commented on my videos as a moderator, but now that there's more people coming in, I can set up another 5-6 moderators. I don't like trolls. Tamales, Joe Waters, you already know. I'm by far not really caring about the algorithm right now, but so if anybody's stupid, out they go. I just sipping a little Stag 24C. I am thinking about my next barrel project. I don't know if you can probably see over here, but this is it's really an egg incubator. I had chickens, I'd incubate eggs. I wanted to kind of simulate a true rick house kind of experience with these double oak projects that I was going to do. So I took my incubator that goes up to 140 degrees, which is pretty close to some of the high temperatures of some of the rick houses. And so I have my 2.5 gallon barrel in here right now full of honey from my beehives. I think one of my videos already kind of covered this some, but I'm just heating the honey up so I can dump the honey out. And then tomorrow I'm putting in 13 bottles of Eagle Rare. And then I'm going to double oak that for a couple months. I've got some somewhere in here. I've got some Madagascar vanilla beans, so I'm going to suspend a couple Madagascar vanilla beans in the barrel again, and I'm going to start aging it for 6 weeks. Take out a sample and then take it down to this group down at Security Discount Liquors that we kind of gather at here and there, and a lot of the people down there have, given me a bottle of Eagle Rare to throw in the barrel, and then I'll end up just giving it back to them, and they'll give me a few bucks to help me buy more barrels and stuff like that. But Let me look at the chat here. I see that the video seems like it's about 30 seconds behind. So there might be a setting for that. Just trying to make sure I'm on top of everything, and I guess I'm not somebody until I get a troll. I remember when Joe Unfiltered got his first troll. We celebrated. Same with Keenan, Whiskier. But yeah, right now I'm just gonna open up this. I was thought about pre-opening it so I didn't look like Joe Unfiltered opening a bottle. That's the one thing. Nice thing about this Ben Holiday, it's a screw top, so I figured it was going to come off easy. Let me see if I can not do a Joe Unfiltered. Holy moly, there's no cellophane on it. There's nothing but the tax stamp. Nothing but a damn tax stamp. Ugh. That's the ticket. A grunt. And just not very impressive. There's no psht, no pop, no nothing. But again, I've got to sample this Ben Holiday 8 year. It had been a distillery only and then a Missouri only release. But again, it's their new 8 year. Oh, I guess my camera got flipped around. I did have my camera reversed so that everything would read properly, but it's not. Yeah, Card, you can help take care of those trolls too. You got some experience. Yeah, hit that like. I'm going to hit that damn like. This is my first one. I'm going to like my own damn video. Oh, was it reading properly? For me, it looked backwards. Okay, now I guess I do see it on the screen. So on my camera, it's backwards, but I guess it's proper on the screen. But thanks to Joe Unfiltered helped me investigate some camera hardware and such, and microphone and things like that. And that itself was a little bit of a learning curve. But I mean, I am in IT and I work with technology and such, so it should be pretty easy to figure out. So Joe, tonight I just connected the DJI straight to the USB-C port on my camera or on my laptop and using it as a regular webcam. The only thing I don't like about that is to pan, back and forth and stuff like that. I have to do it on the camera because the app is inactive if you connect the DJI straight to the laptop. Hey, Rachie. Cool. I'm glad you made it. Not that you weren't sleeping or something, since you never do. Joe Waters. Cheers, everybody. Again, this is the new Ben Holiday 8 year. Again, this is supposed to be all their own juice. Just a good single barrel straight bourbon whiskey. 123.6 proof. That's pretty good. I even got me a bar mat. You can see it says Gordon's Pub on it. I'm all special like Steve Martin in the movie The Jerk when he's yelling, "The new phone books are here. The new phone books are here." So I like that movie. Let me catch up real quick. Yeah, Andrew's birthday is, what was it? Is it the 28th, Andrew? Sheena? Nah, I mean, there's so many good people in this community. Like I said, I used to watch a few, and I met Keenan, the whiskier. Just happened to go into Security Discount Liquor when he came in just to do a video. He was trying to do videos when he was stationed here in the Air Force. Was trying to do all parts of Colorado Springs. Security is just outside of city limits. Came in there to do a video. Did a great video. So that's the time I met Keenan and joined his channel that night. And his channel's just really grown. And then that's also how I met Joe Unfiltered and Card, and I already knew Up and Smoke Tamales. Alan and I happen to live in the same city, frequent some of the same liquor stores and such, and He's starting to do his own thing with his up and smoked tamales, and that's just some amazing food. It's like I feel bad. I just can't. I can't buy anybody else's tamales now. I used to go down to this Pioneer Museum. They have a farmers market, and they had some pretty damn good tamales. But I go down there now, and the lady just kind of looks at me, and I don't stop, and I think she's wondering what the hell's going on, and I just don't want to tell her I found something better because Alan's tamales are amazing. Let's see who else jumped in here. I see Joe's mentioning Rob. Oh, there you go, Rob and Melly. Thanks for joining my first live stream. I'm sipping some whiskey from Missouri. Joe Unfiltered, and well, I guess everybody that's familiar with Art of the Spirits. A lot of the Art of the Spirits whiskey is coming from Missouri, and although they won't say where it's coming from. My dad, when I was much younger, who came from Missouri, was drinking McCormick. McCormick, it was generally not a very good whiskey, but it was cheap, and my dad could afford it. There's 8 kids. I've got 2 brothers, 5 sisters. Come from a big family. Not a lot of money to do things with a family that big back in the 60s. So my parents were just kind of amorous towards each other. And with 8 kids, you kind of figure out what they were doing in their spare time, as little as it was. Hey, Summer, thank you for joining my first live. Let me make sure I haven't missed nothing. But like I said, I really appreciate everybody joining in. It's great to see everybody here. Whiskey is just something that I've loved. When my dad came from a different time, like when my dad, he was 12 and working with my grandpa, his job was breaking horses and stuff like that. So the day that my dad, when he was 12 years old, broke his first horse, my grandpa walked up to him and gave him a 6-pack of Olympia beer and a pack of Winston red cigarettes. It was like the rite of passage or what have you. I guess when you're going from a boy to a man. And so with me growing up, I didn't smoke. I've never smoked cigarettes. I just had no desire. I tried it a couple times, and man, it just dropped me to my knees. I don't know if I'm allergic to nicotine or something, but I am just not a cigarette smoker. But we would go hunting as a kid. My dad would like pull off, on the side of the highway as we're heading up in the mountains because he drank what he called bourbon and branch water. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but like I said, we would go camping and he would like send me down towards the river with a canteen, and there'd be, snow falling off the pine tree branches, and he'd have me hold the canteen under the stream of melting snow that's coming off the pine tree branches. And that was what they called the bourbon and branch water. And so I'd take it back up to the truck, and he would top off the canteen with at that time it was like Black Velvet. That's a Canadian whiskey, cheap still. He would fill it up, and then he would take a sip, and he would like hand it to me, and I'd go to hand it to my cousin in the passenger seat, and my cousin would just kind of push it back to me and at 12 and let me take a little sip. Nothing extreme, but it's just some of those memories I have growing up. Are you talking about this, Andrew? Sorry, I'm trying to stay on top of everything. Yeah, Andrew, this is the one that's got my 2.5 gallon oak barrel full of honey. It's been in there for a month. It's an incubator, and so this cycles between about 40 degrees because it also cools, so about 40 degrees all the way up to 140 degrees, kind of simulating this is my 2.5 gallon rick house. I used to use it for eggs, but I don't have chickens right at the moment. So I tried to fit my barrel in there. The barrel would fit, but the door wouldn't close because the the plexiglass would touch the barrel. And so I'm thinking, because I'm like a mechanical engineer, and I'm trying to you look at a problem and you try to figure it out. And so I got this little torch. Well, there you go. And I just opened the door. I opened the door and started heating the plexiglass because it's 3 layers of plexiglass, and I just heated it, and I would close the door against the barrel, and then I would heat it some more, and close the door, and finally the door formed to the shape of the barrel. And even over here on the side where I have the little plug where I dump the honey in, uh, it is kind of indented into the glass. So I was thinking I was going to even have to lay this down on its side to keep the cork from popping because it develops pressure. But it just so happened that when I heated up the plexiglass, it formed around the plug so that I could keep the incubator upright. And again, it just cycles just like a rick house does, but it's like the world's smallest rick house. Holds 1 2.5 gallon barrel. Let me catch up here real quick. Yeah, Mom Spencer. I don't know why Olympia beer was so popular in Kansas and Colorado. My dad drank it to even when on my current job where I would go out to Seattle and say I want to drink some craft beers. Everybody wants to go somewhere and they want to drink a craft beer, from somewhere. So in Seattle, I was like, hey, I'd like to try some of your craft beers, and the bartender like popped open an Olympia and just set it down on this bar. And I'm like, no, anything but that. And so I've had Olympia. I'm done having Olympia. Hey, it's my daughter. My daughter Hannelore is in here. So again, Hannelore Kirkaldy. I have to say she's my favorite daughter. It doesn't matter that she's my only daughter. She's still my favorite daughter, and I love her to death. She's a fantastic mom to an amazing granddaughter, who my granddaughter is also my favorite granddaughter, and she's my only granddaughter. But anyway, that's what I'd be doing. Melly and Rob, I started with a little bit of Ben Holiday. It's out of Missouri. Their prior releases have been uh, somewhere around 6 years. They had a little bit of 7-year came out, and then it just kind of disappeared. It never really made it to Colorado. And then they've been talking about the 8-year, but again, my store, Security Discount Liquor. I'm hoping James might pop in here again tonight. I should have messaged him just to let him know that I was live because he wanted to jump in. Hey, David Fox, how's it going? I see you in here now. Again, I'm new at this, so I'm trying to get into the flow. But again, Melanie, this is again Ben Holiday. It's a single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, just about 123 proof. And I don't know if the microphone's picking this up because it kind of goes up and down as it's trying to maintain that temperature. But again, it's been my honey from my hives have been in there for a month, so I want to heat it up a little bit warmer. So last time when I went to empty the honey out of this barrel, for some reason I just turned it off, and the honey got cold and it was super thick, and it took like 3 days for it to drain out enough because I want it to drain out enough to where it stops dripping. So kind of learned. So now I'm going to get it up to about 110, 120 degrees, which is to the point that if it gets on me, I'm not going to have first degree burns. And so I'll dump that out, and then, like I said, immediately fill it up with 13 bottles of Eagle Rare. I have a couple bottles of Eagle Rare 12, so I was even thinking about dumping in a bottle of Eagle Rare 12 just to make it sound more appetizing, appealing, or something like that. But I think it'll be good. I just did the E.H. Taylor small batch, which I've also have on a video. I'm sure most everybody's seen it. Love me some whiskey. I like the name, but I don't know if I recognize the name since. Oh, now it looks like everybody's name's back to normal again. So it's Sheena and Up in Smoke, not at this and at that and at everything else. Uh, so love me some whiskey. I like your name, but I apologize if I've forgotten who you are. But anybody with the whiskey name is welcome in. What's everybody else drinking? Yeah, I agree, Joe. I mean, I don't mind seeing my handle up there. It's not like I'm pimping myself when I'm on somebody else's stream or something like that. I appreciate uh, Joe Unfiltered and Joe Waters, kind of putting my uh, channel out there when I'm on your streams and stuff like that. But um, uh, loves me some whiskey, JD Heritage. Luckily, JD Heritage has been pretty available in Colorado or Colorado Springs. Again, the liquor store that I frequent, that Joe Unfiltered, he's visited SDL several times, and Alan, uh, even a lot of channel members of uh, Whiskier have traveled from other states. I mean, like we've had Wesley from Louisiana, we've had people from Texas, we've had people from Iowa. Where else, Joe? Hey, Steve, man, thank you for joining my first live. Even though, like I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but uh, just watching all these other whiskey legends out there. We were just at a Joe Unfiltered. I don't know how to say it, the Onyx and Amber experience. It was a barrel that Joe and another Colorado Bourbon Society had picked. And it was really neat that we got to go to Onyx and Amber and uh, have watch them dump the barrel, and then they just put a hose in this big stainless steel barrel, and they're filling bottles four at a time. And we're pounding in the corks. They're rolling on the labels, and then we got to wax dip them. This is my most special bottle. I'm going to keep it until I die. So again, it's Onyx and Amber is the bottle, and if you look right under there, there's Joe Unfiltered's logo, autographed by the man himself. So I'm not opening that one. I'm going to keep that one closed, and then once Joe hits 5 million subscribers, I'm going to sell it for 10, 20 grand. But like I said, Onyx and Amber, again, local Colorado brand. We have so many uh, good Colorado distilleries. For the longest time, I had stopped drinking whiskey. I was a Scotch drinker when I grew up, and I was 18 to 21, long ago, because I'm old. They had Jack Black, Jack Daniel's number 7. We had uh, Jim Beam White Label. We had Wild Turkey 101, and then stuff that the girls like to drink, like a Southern Comfort Yukon Jack, because it was sweet. So I was buying it because you know gets girls drunk, and who knows. So I drank way too much of it, and I just completely went away from American whiskey. And again, always back to security discount liquor, and James down there uh, wanting me to try some American whiskey, and I'm telling him no thanks. Appreciate the offer and stuff like that, but it was just bad memories. And then till one time, James was like, "Have I ever effing given you anything that wasn't good?" And it's like, "Oh shit, no, he hasn't." And so he had given me uh, some of the. Actually, I think he gave me a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, and and I think I like rye so much because I like Scotch and because it's so powerful, flavor wise. I know Joe Unfiltered is doing some reviews of some Ardbeg Scotch. Joe Waters likes it. I love Ardbeg, especially Wee Beastie and stuff like that. But uh, Joe Unfiltered did not drink any Scotch when I met him. Him, Keenan Whiskey Channel or anything like that. But now seeing Joe Unfiltered drink some scotch and stuff like that. I was just thinking, I was telling him over the weekend, it's like watching him take a shot of some scotch and like not gas for breath or something like that. I was telling him, I was like, I feel like a dad watching his little boy grow up. So I thought it was funny. I don't know if he did, but I thought it was, but again, there's just so much out there, you know. Have I went back to Jack Daniel's Old Number Seven? No. Jim Beam? No. Southern Comfort Yukon Jack? Never, ever. So again, cheers. Yeah, Andrew. Uh, I have, gosh, I have my whiskey here behind the bar. This is but this is, I'd say probably 35%. And if you could see down behind the bar, I have a couple hundred bottles. I've got 3 barrels. 2 of the barrels have some whiskey in it. I've got 2 barrels over there that have whiskey in it, and I got whiskey under my stairs, which is back here. I've got whiskey in cabinets. I have probably 200 bottles under the stairs. I've got whiskey in my bedroom. Hey, I got space in my bedroom, so I have to have some place to put it. So 100 bottles in my bedroom, and then upstairs in the kitchen, we had remodeled the kitchen. My wife wanted to remodel the kitchen. It's like I just want my own little corner, so I made a just a cabinet floor to ceiling to where I have a bunch of bottles. I have a glass cabinet. I keep some of my nicer glass in. Uh, and then above the TV, we have a bar area above my TV. I probably have close to 100 bottles there. I don't know how many I have. I know a lot of people use uh, Joe Unfiltered. What's the Only Drams? Is that the app where you enter all your bottles and like put what you pay for it and stuff like that? So you kind of come up with the value of what you overall have in it that you never show your wife ever, never. My wife's a beer drinker, so all my whiskey, it's all mine, which is pretty cool. Only Drams, okay. So I think I have that phone. That app. I think I did my first 100 bottles, and then it's like, man, I'm good for now. And I know some people that put everything in Only Drams very faithfully. Oh no, hon, I didn't. So my wife was stationed over in Germany, in Bamberg, Germany, and as as she was being uh, transferred back to uh, the states, the place that she was living in, they were actually going to demolish it. I don't know why, whether it was for expansion or something like that. But this bar that came from, it was actually built in Holland, and at the top, and I'll have to maybe do more in depth. It's got these inlaid tiles on it that have, windmills, and a lot of the Dutch china and stuff like that are this, white china with just a single blue coloring on it. And same with the bar back. Uh, it has, it just kind of goes with it. So I need to expand my bar area. So I have a wall over here that you can see with all my Art of the Spirits metal signs on it. I want to take this wall out, and because I've got some shelving that I want to put on here, floor to ceiling shelving, so I can get everything in one place. But again, this bar had been sitting down there, and we just really hadn't used it. Our basement seems like it becomes a collect all for the longest time. If there's no place upstairs, it seems like it goes to the basement. Let me read here real quick. I know I'm only probably reading 10% of what's going on in chat right now, so I appreciate all the mods talk, answering questions that people are probably asking me. Hey, Brian. Hey, welcome to the channel. Yeah, so Brian's in the military, and he was stationed here at Fort Carson. He got transferred somewhere out like Fort Knox, and so he's just traveling around the area in his new location, duty station. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. Just finding, seeing what's there now. Well, I guess short barrel uh, is pretty readily available, and I had been trying to get one of their. They have a bottle called the Bee's Knees, and I had been trying to get it, but trying to order just one or two bottles online, and then having a $30 or $40 uh, shipping fee, which is almost the cost of another bottle. Unless I can get a coupon for free shipping or something like that, I just haven't been buying very much online. Very little on it. Maybe a bottle for some of the bourbon groups or something like that. That's what I really liked about the Onyx and Amber pick. I was able to drive up to Denver last Saturday, and get this, just pick up the bottle and just be in a group of Joe Unfiltered. I don't know how many people were there. There's probably 40, 50 people there. People that you talk to on Facebook, in this bourbon group, that you finally get to put, a face, to a name that you're just chatting with on Facebook. So it's pretty cool. Just getting to know everybody, and it's just a really good time, just a really good community. And like I said, I used to work in Denver. Spent some time in Denver, so it's pretty nice. So I'm not going to be spending any time in Denver anytime soon. So at least less travel, a little more time not driving, which is pretty cool. Sexy B, thank you for joining my first stream. Sexy B, we're in a lot of common chats, like Joe Unfiltered's and Robin Melly, their channel and stuff like that. So we just kind of keep running across each other, and it's pretty cool. Again, like I said, you just see names, you're chatting with people in chat, and it's just kind of nice to actually, I don't know if it's good that I put my face on here, but I'm sure Rachie and Sexy Bees and even my daughter's face would be much better on camera than mine is. So let me see. So what's my favorite whiskey? Geez, I don't know. There are so many good whiskey. I like Russell's, which is, Wild Turkey, got Russell's 15 and Russell 13. Amazing bottle. I don't know why, but Russell's 15 just really suits my palate really well. But as I said, I really like Jack Daniels too. So they've got the Jack Daniels 14 and 12. And actually, the 13's coming out. Jack Daniels 13 is coming out. I know, James. I was just saying that earlier in the chat, that I started the chat without messaging you. I just said that just a minute ago. It's my first live, so like I said, telling everybody else, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just trying to remember what some of the other guys have done in years. But I went down at Security Discount Liquor because, I've talked about Bacta. I love Bacta. We even went to Maryland and stayed in Pulteney, Vermont, at the Bacta campus. Bacta bought a college that went out of business that still has all the dorms and stuff like that on there. So we went out there as a group. James, how many was there? 12, 16, 18 people. And you go out there and they let you stay in the dorms just like you're a student. We're being a student of bourbon, student of whiskey. and you stay in the dorms for no cost. And then they have their, the cafeteria at the campus, Green River College, and so they feed you, and it's not just like uh, fast food. I mean, they're bringing out, lamb shank sliders and just these amazing food. And while you're sitting there eating this amazing food for free, they just keep pouring you bottles. Here's the Bacta. They just keep pouring it, and it's like, man, I was getting pretty buzzed out of the Bacta, so I just kept my glass right here, just like, man, these guys are like sneaking around like little fairies and stuff like that. Uh, and it's like, so I keep my glass when I'm talking. I'll go to bring my glass up. I'm talking. It's like, shit, my glass is full again. And somehow these guys, even with me keeping my glass here, they're sneaking up on my blind side and they're like filling up my glass. And that first night on the campus out there at Bacta, that first night, I remember most of it now, but it was one hell of a night, and it was just so fun. James Minkin, that's in here, and a few other people that we went out. We went out. It was just an amazing time, and so anyway, that's what I was saying. I went down to the security discount liquor tonight because we did a blend, which is, you could call it thick, but with Bacta, they have what they call a bonbon, and so their brand ambassador for Bacta will come out there, and he will bring out sample bottles, uh, good sized sample bottles of like 3 different ryes from Bacta and 3 different bourbons and 6 Armagnacs. And if you can search Armagnac and learn about it, but it's a brandy made from grapes in Normandy, France. And then he'd bring out like 6 Calvadoses, which is, again, it's a brandy, but it's made from apples in France. And you taste your 3 whiskeys, and then you take the 3 ryes, and you decide, do I want a rye based blend or a bourbon based blend? And then once you do that, these bourbons will be finished in, an American oak or an Isla Scotch barrel or a French oak barrel. And so you're picking that as well, and then you're running through all the Armagnacs to pick which one. Hey, GP, nice of you to join. I appreciate that. Uh, and then you try the Calvinoses, and then you come up with your blend, and you come up with a percentage of what you want the blend to be, and then James will send the form back with the brand ambassador back to Bachton. I think it was what, James? I think it's 4 years, 5 years, and then they blend it for security discount liquor, and then we just kind of wait until they send out. It's like, I don't know, I think it's a bottle combination of 72, 144, and stuff like that. And uh, tonight, our third bonbon blend from Bacta came in, so I just wanted to run down there and try it. And at one of these future lives, it'll just be, all about Bacta, or all about Jack Daniels, and uh, all about Penelope, stuff like that. Trying to do something unique. Just trying to decide, what I want the channel to be. I do other things. I also do some, prepping planning, and I come up with, prepping kits and stuff like that. So I know educational videos, YouTube says pay more or monetize more or something like that. But again, right now, uh, bourbon's my passion tonight. Uh, and I just love it more and more, like I said, with the 2 Joe's channels and Keenan's and a few other channels that I like. It's just really nice because I'd buy a bottle just because I thought maybe it looked good, and I'd take it home and try it, and it would be terrible, and then I would feel like shit, and I just wasted money. But then I thought about it, and I got some friends that come over, Lushes or whatever. They could buy their own damn bottle, but they'll pass 3 liquor stores to come over to my house to drink my booze for free. So I just give them the bottle that I don't really care for, and then I'll just keep the better bottles like Jack Daniels and Ben Holiday and Stag, I'll keep for myself or for my better friends. So let me try to catch up here. I don't know if I'm just rambling, sounding stupid or what, but so Andrew, was your birthday on the 28th? I know you might have said so. You were Sheena one, but yep, Hannah had to hide the good ones. Had to hide the good ones. The one person I was referring to mostly was a friend of mine named Wayne who would uh, who would come over and drink my booze and then ask. He was like, "Hey, do you mind if I take this one home or something like that?" I was like, "Get the hell out of here!" So I'm gonna go ahead and try me some JD Heritage. It's really nice. I got a backup. I got a backup to my backup. As you watch Joe Unfiltered, Joe Waters, Keenan, whatever channel you watch in here, Steve follows Keenan and uh, Joe Unfiltered. We try to pour small pours. I didn't quite do it there. That's a little bit bigger pour than what we normally do. But this is a small Glencairn Lily Million Rob. So, Joe Waters and I've been saying that you need to get uh, a Glencairn. It's really the best glass to drink whiskey out of. Uh, Again, this is a small one. You can even see Security Discount Liquors. James, he's in here. I just love that James was able to get these glasses. But like people say, just like with wine, you know how the whiskey has legs. You can see that. You can see those lines going down to a nice high proof, nice high proof whiskey. So, Joe, you're saying you didn't like Penelope originally? Oh, yes, right. November 28th. Damn, Andrew, I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait to open those bottles. I don't know why I was thinking. Sheena said November 28th, but I'm just got 28th in my head. So, love me some whiskey. Cheers with the JT Heritage. Good bottle. I like the proof to be a little bit higher, but with a lot of bottles, man, it's like I love the flavor. I love the nose. Like Joe Waters has been talking about comparing it to Penelope Marshmallow, the bourbon flavor, uh, the barrel char influence. If a lot of times if proof even came up, you know, 5%, 10 proof, I think it would lose this flavor that I'm tasting in the in this JT Heritage. And kind of like what loves me some whiskey was saying, it's a cheaper bottle, and now uh, Joe Waters, I think you probably already know. I know Joe Felcher. Instead of doing like say the Coy Hill release, they're doing a Jack Daniels single barrel barrel proof rye release from an adjacent Rick House on the Jack Daniels campus, and it's supposed to come out. And so they're saying it could be as up as high as 158 proof, 158 proof um, hazmat Jack Daniels single barrel barrel proof rye. I think it's a double oaked. Is that right, Joe Unfiltered? I believe it's double oaked. But again, it's coming back, coming as the same, yeah, 10-year release, Joe. 79 bucks. And if I get it from Security Discount Liquors, because I know he's already asked for it, man, I'll be really happy to add one. And that's what I was saying. I love my wife's bar. It's really cool. But man, I just need some more space. Uh, I'm getting closer to the retirement age, so I've been buying some bottles because you know soon I'm gonna probably be on Social Security and hopefully living out in the sticks somewhere in Tennessee, away from liquor stores and stuff like that. Uh, just kind of trying to stock up. you know, I'm prepping. So good prepping is, food and medical supplies, medicine, and you know, water and stuff like that. But for me, an important item for me is whiskey. It can be medicinal, especially if you get some of these hazmat. You can sterilize wounds and stuff like that. So uh, uh, maybe I'm just trying to justify it, but my wife supports me. My wife is a beer drinker. She's a German beer drinker. Uh, Loves her beer, and she'll take a little sip of my whiskey. But so luckily, my whiskey's all with me. I never have to come home and find uh, one of my bottles gone. One of my precious bottles gone, or something like that. And she'll even though with me buying the bottles that I buy, she'll send me a message saying, "Did you see this? Might be from like Reserve Bar or something like that." And she'll send me a message saying, "Hey, did you see this? That sounds like something that you would like." And I'm like, I already got it, honey." And so she's like, "All right, just checking, making sure." She's supporting my habit. So what's everybody else drinking? I know I'm doing more talking than drinking. I'm talking probably too much. I'm telling you, if the world comes to ruin or something like that, I'll probably immediately, if I'm not moved to my property in Tennessee or something like that, I'll probably head to my brother's in the Sandia Mountains of New Mexico and take all my necessary items and just hide out there. But it's again safety in numbers. Should you need to, like I said, you can't stay in a populated area. I'm not going to get off on a tangent, but if things go to ruin and it's more of roving gangs or whatever. I'm not talking about movies that happen, but it's safety in numbers. I can't stay in this house. My house is not defensible, so that'll be for I don't know. Maybe I'll have to spin off a second channel or something like that. But it's just some really neat stuff, some fun stuff that I think is that's available out there. And so it's like it's wintertime right now. I have these 7-gallon buckets that have like 400 items in there, including water and dehydrated food and medical supplies, and hand and body warmers and stuff like that. Emergency sleeping bag. So I put one out in my wife's car. I put one out in my son's car. And now James is kind of funny because I was telling James, it's like, man, James' building is built out of some really nice cinder blocks. I'm gonna pull my fifth wheel down there, and we're gonna make our stand. You know, I'll still bring my stuff back. It all came from Security Discount Liquor, anyway, and we'll make our stand at Security Discount Liquor. Could be worse places, but Joe, is that what you paid? 75 for the Heritage? I buy stuff at SDL, and it's like I don't even ask for the price. I don't even get a receipt because I know if I'm buying it there, then I'm getting it for a better price. Anywhere else, wife will say, "What'd you pay for that?" I'm like, I don't know." So I can log in and check out my bank account, but I seldom, if ever, buy one bottle. So uh, I could tell her what I spent total, but I don't want to do that. So what else? What else are everybody drinking? What should I drink? I probably have it. Wow, Steve, that's amazing price. I like that. Melly and Rob, you still here? What are you guys drinking? Joe, your waters, Joe Unfiltered. I don't even know. See, I don't even know how to tell how long I've been going for. All right, one of you guys more experienced YouTubers, tell me how long I've been going for, or where the hell I find it. 49 minutes. I found it. I'm getting to be an old pro. James Joe Waters is in Maryland, and they have some pretty amazing rules as far as the release. I think he shops at lives in Maryland. works in Virginia, something like that. And I know they just have a lot of rules there. All right, well, I'll try some 2023 Van Winkle Lot B. It's a good bottle. I like rye. Sexy B ice water. Oh, with apple pie. Well, I'm hoping it's the apple pie moonshine. Sexy B and not apple pie. Apple pie. This one's not going back in. We'll do some BTAC. I was shooting for 30 minutes. And I thought I was going to have a hard time. I thought I was going to have a hard time talking for 30 minutes. So maybe I'll shoot for an hour. Yeah, Joe, you're making some inroads, Joe. I don't know if it's monster stuff, but it's Thursday. It's Friday Eve. Halloween's coming up. I got a 5-day weekend coming up, so I work tomorrow till probably around noon, and then I don't come back until Thursday for a nice 2 week or 2-day week. I would love for all my weeks to be 2 days. Ooh, that smells good. That smells good. I'm gonna have to bring that 12-year lot B back out here. Sorry, that's straight bourbon whiskey. It's the handy. That is the rye. It's Friday somewhere. Might be Friday where Rachel's from. Might be Friday there. All right, Sheena. I really appreciate you joining my first stream. Uh, Love that you and Andrew both got to. I was just, gosh, I'm bummed, Andrew. I thought in a couple days you're gonna have open those bottles unless you already did. Hey, Cam, thank you very much for joining my first stream. If you guys haven't subscribed, uh, if you haven't subscribed or liked or something, I only show one like, but I know mine won't update until after I refresh my screen. What's that, Joe? JP gave you a handy? Oh, he has a handy. Sorry, I read that wrong, maybe. So Andrew, open the marshmallow. So again, lot B. So I can tell that I'm new at this because I'm pouring my home pours. You watch Joe and Whiskier and Joe Waters. It's a splash. It's just a splash at the bottom. So I gotta remember to do that or not. I'm a big guy. Since I'm a big guy, I can drink a little bit more. Awesome, Kim. I'm really happy that you're here, Kim and Steve, Joe, Andrew. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, Joe. No pelicans on mine. I'm a lot older. I'd hate to do a pelican and lose a tooth or something like that. I'd probably swallow it and choke on it. Yep, James. So we have a friend of ours, uh, Hero, he's a sous chef, and you just have to watch him because we have the full size Glens, and he'll go to leave, and so he'll be like walking out with his bottle of Stag, and I'll say, "Hey, can I have a sip of that before you go, Hero?" And like I said, we're talking. And you have your glass out, and Hero's gonna pour it. It's like the full size Glen. Melly and Rob, if you haven't we keep talking about Glencairns, but you can see the size difference here. And I'll set this because we just put just a dash in the bottom. Sexy B, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon on Melly and Rob's or Joe Waters or someone else's. Very, very cool. Again, Hero will take this glass while you're not looking. He'll fill it, and you won't notice what's going on because he'll let it spill over a little bit onto your finger. So, I mean, you can see that glass holds a lot of stag, and our buddy will fill it up, and then it's like, and the person that's asking, "Hey, can I have a little sip before I hit the road?" And the next thing you know, he's got a quarter of a bottle of stag in his glass. But I've met so many nice people. I've been able to buy so many more bottles. Like I said, uh, Joe Filter just hooked me up with some very nice bottles from the Nashville Barrel Company, for example. I've had other friends that aren't in here tonight because they don't really have a presence on Facebook or very much outside of Facebook or something like that. But just everybody, just helping. Oh, you like this? Oh, we got this. Like one of our other buddies he works at Art of the Spirits, Steven. They were out picking, I don't know if they were picking like 30 barrels or 40 barrels out in Missouri for the Art of the Spirits to bring them back here to Colorado Springs and finish them in, XO cognac casks or other casks. They've got stag barrels where they fill them with stag, dump the stag, and then Art of the Spirits will buy that bottle and they'll fill it up with something that might be Bardstown. It might be from MGP. It might be from Ben Holiday, or it's the older age stuff because Ben Holiday, like I said, this is 8 year. So anything that they would have that it's 10 years old, that's most likely McCormick's or something like that. But like I said, just being turned on to so many bottles. I wish I could. I've got to find a new way to connect my camera to use. Right now, I just connected it directly to my laptop. But up above here, if you could see, I have 30 bottles of the various Art of the Spirits, and they do like these series. Like they'll do 3 bottle sets of some of the important Indian chiefs, back from the late 1800s, early 1900s. They will do something to do with like the 300 Spartans, like a 3-bottle set. James Min Kim from Security Discount Liquors. I have like 5 or 6 of his barrel picks that James will gather up a group of people that he trusts their palates, and we will go down and just like they call it blind because they won't tell you anything about it. They might say this is a bourbon or this is a rye, but they might even tell you the age. And we will go down and just sample all these different barrels and take notes and come up to say, wow, I really like this, or I really like that one or something like that. And then James will just decide if he wants to buy this entire barrel and bring it into a store. And I got to find them. I have all the Security Discount Liquor bottles separated, but I've got to. There. This is one of James's latest bottles. It's a straight bourbon whiskey, single barrel, 12 years old. Again, it's an Art of the Spirits bottle. The label represents the Range Riders. The Range Riders are a group that would ride around Garden of the Gods and make different trips and things like that here around Colorado Springs and in this area. And Security Discount Liquors was the first one to be able to put this Range Riders label from Art of the Spirits. And a lot of my bottles are closed, but if I buy this bottle from James, I buy 2 bottles so that I can open one and drink, and then I will keep one bottle that's closed. Richard, the owner from Art of Spirits, will come in and sign bottles either at their distillery or at James's liquor store. He'll provide, different signs. Have a range writer sign here somewhere. Unfortunately, I'm starting to cover up some of my bottles with other or my signs with other bottles. But on another video, like a couple people have said, I will do a video about what's going on behind the bar. Let me read here real quick. Yeah, Brian, I would love to go to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and I would absolutely love to go with James. I would love to go down there and well, obviously try a few. Shit, I'm gonna try everything. I'm down there. I'm obviously on vacation. I'm gonna try everything. So let me finish up this lot B. Let me see if I can pour a smaller pour. So next, I'm gonna do this again. This is 2023 George T. Stagg. Good bottle. It's Daddy Junior, so it's important. Family is important. So dad and son, it's important. I probably should think about ending it, but we got a few people in here. Again, as I'm looking at this, I don't think I have the accurate count of people that are in here. Again, I still show that I only have one like. I know that's not the case. So let me refresh this real quick. Refresh. I don't know why YouTube doesn't refresh like that. Hey, I'm up to 18. I'm up to 18 likes, so I'll take that. Again, I'm a newbie. It's a 19. If you can I'd appreciate it. I want to I done. I'll catch up with Joe. Joe Unfiltered. Joe Waters, did you tell me Joe Unfiltered just surpassed 1,000 subscribers? My first live. If it wasn't for my friends, I'd sit here. I'd be talking to myself. Although I haven't met a lot of you, I've met some of you. But if I had met most of you on, like I said, on other channels and such, yep. Joe Waters says Joe has hit his surpassed 1,000. So I guess I'm chasing Joe Waters because I'll be chasing Joe Unfiltered for much longer. Joe is much closer. Joe Waters is much closer. Ooh-wee. That's a good damn bottle. I paid $30, and I'll tell this. I'll share this with you guys. So on Facebook, there are several estate sale groups. So somebody passes away, and they just say, "Hey, we're having an estate sale. We're having an estate sale. Whatever, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't care." But they'll say we have an estate sale. So I'll look at the pictures. I'll zoom in on Facebook. I'll open the pictures up. I'll zoom in. It's like, here's some in the living room. I'll pay attention to those. At 10, I'll pay attention to those. I should do. Well, I wouldn't do a short on it because it's a little bit longer. But I'll just zoom in on the pictures. Like, oh, look, there's some barware in that picture. And I'll zoom in a little bit more. It's like, hey, I'll see a couple bottles kind of pushed off to the side. I'll go to the estate sale and start talking to people. And normally, estate sales are handled by estate sale companies. It's not just the family, the surviving husband or wife. Normally, it's the surviving wife, unfortunately. Well, I won't say that. It's normally the wife that is surviving the husband. So I'll go look at something. I'll pick something up. I'll go to buy something, and just to start talking to people to find out, who's the family member. And okay, so this is the surviving wife, and I'll go talk to her, and uh, I'll say, ask them, it's like, hey, do you have any spirits or anything like that that you're looking to get rid of. And then a lot of times they'll say, I was told by the company that's doing the estate sales I can't sell them here. All I know is that my husband has said, you don't pour these down the drain, hopefully referring to hazmat. Don't throw these in the trash because some of them may be flammable. And several times they'll say, they will pay me to take these two bottles that I bought at the same time. And I'm honest. They'll say, no, you're not going to pay me. You have value here. Your husband is obviously a wise man. If he's buying these, then I will buy them from you. And they're normally pretty excited because it's something they're having to deal with. It's almost like, what are you going to do with all your paint cans, your pesticides, your aerosols? And I will talk to them as like, I will, pay you to take them. And it's like, I will offer them. It has always been, I've given them more than what they even expected to get. And sometimes they go and it's like, if it's a German lady, it's like a lot of schnapps. Italian, there's a lot of wines and stuff, cordials and stuff like that. I'll take those too. But, you're helping them out. But again, you're not ripping them off because you're giving them. So, uh, you're giving them money where they expected to pay, and they're receiving money. So I watch some of the estate sales and pick up some interesting things. These were in Denver. I think about 5 miles from Joe Unfiltered's house. I don't know why he didn't go over there and get them. He's much closer. I guess he just doesn't like BTAC or something. I don't know. But it was interesting if you want to look at some of the estate sales because, like I said, they're going in the trash. They're getting poured down the drain, which is sad. But they're trying to reach a new, chapter of their life of being single and such. And I don't know. I'm trying to say I help them out, and I definitely pay them instead of them paying me, which they, like I said, they always offer to do. I think my chat might have locked up. There you go. See, like Joe Waters, Joe. And if I knew more about it, I always, I always see baseball cards and stuff like that, and comic books, for example. That if I knew more about it, maybe I should just buy them and then just go down to the, the playing card and comic book store or something like that, and uh, see what they would give me or something like that. But I'm there for this, and like I said, they are extremely grateful that they're able to resolve another item on their list, before they can move on, and the estate sales help clean out anything else. So I don't know. I don't know if some people might think it's crappy, crappy of me or something, but like I said, I don't take advantage, and I pay them. A lot of times I'll pay them MSRP, trying to find MSRP of like 40 bottles. It's kind of hard to do, on the fly, but I always pay. Uh, so anyway, enough of that. Let me look at this chat. I'm so sorry, guys. I bet you I've watched 10% of the, or not watched, but unfortunately have only been able to read 10 to 20% of the chat. And I know a lot of you guys have came here and you have better things to do, and you stopped, came in to spend a few minutes with me, and like I said, I was going to try to keep it. Geez, I'm at 68 minutes. I was going to stop it at 60. I guess I'm not very good at this. But Joe Waters, you're the same way. Just like I'm gonna end this stream, and I'm gonna have one more sip, and then it's like you just start talking. So you'll say something in chat, and you'll just start talking. And James, I appreciate it. I guess my first time, so uh, I didn't know what to think. It was more of just it was an introduction, and uh, I don't seem to be drinking as much, not as much as I typically would drink. But again, this is my Friday Eve, half day tomorrow, and I'm off for 5 days. James and I are gonna go out for the opening day of duck hunting season. And although I don't have, neither one of us probably have a lot of high hopes because you need it to be have a lot of snow and a lot of cold temperature up north in the Dakotas and stuff like that, covering up their feeding ground and driving them, down to, Colorado and stuff like that. And there's no snow in the Dakotas or Wyoming and stuff like that. So we're gonna, I was gonna use the F word. We're gonna freaking go and do some duck hunting. And I think we end up, James. What time do we normally eat at the store? At 2 a.m. At 2 a.m. When I get there, James already got his boat hooked up, and we're heading towards Pueblo Reservoir and heading for the marina, trying to be first in line so we could hit that water. And I would say try to beat everybody else or catch up everybody, but James's boat, his motor is pretty amazing. So it's not us trying to keep up with, catch them. It's them trying to keep up, catch us, or catch James's boat. So we're gonna go out on Tuesday coming up and try and see if there's any ducks around that want to toy with us, and so I can put some ducks on the smoker. Make some jalapeno poppers filled with a little bit of duck or geese. I'm not too particular, but James has been doing it for decades. I've only been doing it for, I don't know, 5 years. I did it a lot as a kid. But it was all, on the ground, pheasant, dove, ptarmigan, stuff like that, quail, which is just on the ground. And James has an amazing bird dog named Max. He's amazing. We couldn't afford a bird dog, like I told you earlier. We had a big family, so I was the youngest. So I was the bird dog. So I was out in the cornfields, out in the alfalfa fields, out there doing the serpentine, flushing birds and stuff like that. And every now and again, one of my brothers, my cousins, or something like that, would shoot a little bit low and kind of pepper my ass with a little bit of a bird shot or something like that. So it's kind of nice now not to be the dog and to be the hunter at this time. And again, James's boat is pretty amazing to hunt from. But again, it's a great night. I appreciate you guys all being here. You should go ahead and end it, or I'll have some BTAC I haven't sampled yet. So if you guys are up for a few more minutes, I know some of you are south. I know Kim and Steve are south, but they might be retiring for the night, or dove, as James says. We just went out for some dove hunting a few weeks ago, and I just I've been shooting a new shotgun, and I just had not been real successful with it. So James took me out bird hunting, and we did some. I did pretty good. Not as good as James. I got close to the same amount of birds, like 20 shots to get them, but I did get them. And hey, there's Keith. Keith, my son-in-law, is popped in. I appreciate it, Keith. Keith, it's been years when I used to pop into your stream. I think you were the first live stream that I ever joined. I didn't know what a live stream was. YouTube, yeah, I watch YouTube videos, but I'd never joined a live stream. But son-in-law had been doing some live streams for charity and stuff like that, revolving around gaming and stuff like that. It was just really nice to join in and watch him. And hey, Steve's still here. Thank you, Steve, for still being here. Sheena, you already went and took a shower? You still stink? Andrew will tell me if you do. But like I said, I don't with my job. I don't deal with people. I work in a data center. Kind of like Joe Waters, working around helping build data centers. I work in a data center. I work with hardware. And I'm down here in my basement. Sometimes feeling like I'm a mushroom. I have to make sure I wash my feet, make sure I'm not growing mushrooms between my toes or something like that. So I just don't talk to people. I work with hardware. I repair hardware, install hardware, I decommission hardware. So it's kind of saying like, I just don't know if I don't know if I can do this or whatever. But I just I just don't talk to people. I type in chat like everybody's doing now, but I just don't. I don't interface with people anymore. I used to, you know, decades ago. I've been in my current job for 23 years, and man, I'm just in a data center. I just love it. I put in my uh, Apple earpods and kick on some music, that I want to listen to, whether it's old school, Bob Dylan or something like that, uh, newer Coolio, or I've changed, something I've listened to. But as far as being in front of people, you know, I just don't do that. But yeah, like Joe Waters kind of does that too. It's like he's like in all the infrastructure, that all the hardware that I manage, that I operate, be installed. Uh, Works with Hardware is the name of my dance club. Kind of funny. Tell people that I used to. Man, I can't remember my name now. Joe Waters might remember it. Oh, there's a whiskey called Old Tub, and somebody that'll go unmentioned was reviewing this a bottle of Old Tub, and I just mentioned it's like, when I was younger, it had a different stage name, but as I got older, I changed my stage name to Old Tub, and it was, I don't know, it was pretty funny. But I'll see you tomorrow, James. If you're taking off. Old Tub, Joe. So I thought it was funny. But like I said, I appreciate everybody joining tonight. I'm not drinking. I'll squeak out 4 hours tomorrow. Steve, I appreciate you popping in, staying in. Steve, I've never had Old Tub. I've seen the bottle. I've never bought it. Nobody's ever. I don't know if anybody else have the bottle to bring me a sample. So uh, for your comment, I was know what you're saying, James. I can't believe you listen to Coolio. James has got me listening to different music. I don't listen to country music. All right, I listen to country music, and now I listen to, say, Jason Aldean every day, and really surprising. Uh, I'd like Patsy Cline from decades ago. It was the music that my mom and dad listened to, that uh, that I like, that my wife likes. My wife does not listen to country music. We both listen to Patsy Cline. But other than that, maybe some like way, way old Hank Williams Senior. My mom and dad talking about going to concerts would go to Hank Williams Senior concerts in Kansas, Liberal, Kansas, where they used to live. Jelly Roll, Shabuzi. Actually, Jelly Roll and somebody I started listening to Shabuzi. I was going to say my son-in-law Keith got me to Shabuzi, but I think my granddaughter would prefer to claim that she got me listening to Shabuzi. And again, you hear that name Shabuzi? Oh, it's rap. It's something like that. You know, that's what you would think. But I don't know. I like Shabuzi. GP, I never did. When I grew up, my mom was like this Elvis Presley fanatic. Started one of his first fan clubs, so I know all kinds of Elvis Presley. I know that's not country, but it's also what we would call classic rock. Maybe he laid the foundation for uh, the current rock and roll that came. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and stuff like that. Eric Clapton. I have to throw Eric Clapton out there, since I named my son after me and my wife named our son after one of Eric Clapton's kids. And Eric Clapton's "Wonderful Tonight" was the song that my wife and I first danced to, and it was also the song that we danced to at our wedding, which was pretty cool. So that's got a nice memory to it. Let me see what people are saying here. Friends is low places. I can't sing it. How about all 50 Cent? But I listen to some country, and it's like so. I like my music. So I have two vehicles, and I have a Volkswagen that I paid 10 grand for. I paid 12 grand for the stereo, and then I have a Dodge Ram 3500 that I paid 15 grand for, and I paid 14 grand for the stereo. And I just keep my windows rolled up, and then I kick it up, and it's like the only time I have to turn down my stereo is when I have to look at my side mirrors or my rear view mirror, and it's just vibrating. I can't see the picture. I'll have to turn down my stereo so that I can see. I know a lot of people have little jokes that it's like, oh, it's like you're navigating to the place that you're going, and it's like, oh, I have to turn down my stereo so that I can see where I'm going. Maybe you're not old enough to have heard that yet or something like that, but I literally will have to turn down my stereo so that I can see where I'm going because my side mirrors and my rear view mirror are just vibrating to the beat. And that's all I got to say about that. So let's see. We still have 14 people in here. Yep, Keith. I'm still giving Joey credit because she was the one in the truck saying play Shabuzi, even though I believe you had mentioned it first. Bone Thugs and Harmony, that was my daughter. TLC, that was my daughter. Afraid to say some of them. Uh, Spice Girls, they were. I like Victoria and I like Sporty. I didn't like the music, but they were nice to look at. My daughter kind of exposed me to a lot of music of her her area, her genre, her era. I don't know how to say it. Crossroads, Hana, yeah. Spice World. Spice World was like the first damn uh, pay per view that I paid for, and she had a bunch of her. I don't know how old were you? 9, 10, 11-year old girlfriends over, and she wanted a copy of it, and I had to. Back in the day, had to set up the VCR with a brand new tape to record Spice World, and they were just all ricocheting, bouncing off the walls and stuff like that. And I've always had my stereo because I like stereos hooked up to my TV, so that it had great volume and stuff like that. So she enjoyed it, they enjoyed it. I haven't forgot it. And when I would go to the gym and stuff like that, and it's like all of a sudden it would come on, just like you're supposed to play music to pump me up, to get me to work out, run on the treadmill or something like that. And it's like, can't you give me something other than the Spice Girls or TLC? For me, my daughter would have loved it, but me, not so much. I don't know about culture, bringing culture to our lives. Alan, I didn't. Oh, I saw DJ Magic Mike. I don't know if that's related to the actual Magic Mike. Brian, uh, I know it's later where you are. Joe, it's later where you are. Sheena and Andrew, I know it's later where you guys are. Brian, again, we'll talk soon. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm working on the tomorrow. I'm working on the uh, Eagle Rare double oaked and such. So as Jill Waters always says, I'm gonna finish with Thomas H. Handy. I like a good rye. shoot. I was hoping it would give me a little bit better sound than that. Oh, damn. I don't know what happened. Poured heavy. It was an accident, maybe. But I'm going to come up with some, try to come up with some other ideas. Uh, like earlier, it was mentioned that, oh, AJ, gosh, I didn't get to tell you hi, buddy. Joe, glad that you did that since. Let me look and see what he, let me look and see what he said, just because I want to. Gosh, Joe, AJ is such a joker. He's like a troll. He's like part of the troll army. I mentioned in a video of Joe's as he's going, we're talking about where we're from, and I'm like, I'm from Colorado, and it's like a few minutes later, half an hour later, AJ chimes in, and I tell him to, go suck a big one or whatever, and he's like, Al, you're not invisible to me. I know you're from Colorado. I own you. That's like, you dumbass. I said I was from Colorado. So we try to give AJ some suggestions, like come up out of your parents' basement, go over to the couch, lay down, put your head on mom's lap, and ask her to sing "Soft Kitty" to you and stuff like that. But it's just kind of funny that there are just these people out there that that's all they seem to do with their life is to get on people's streams, and try to create some kind of chaos or say, stupid shit. Sorry, I've been trying not to cuss, but just say stupid things, and he'll pop onto everybody's stream. Nobody's safe from trolls or whatever, but I'm just not the the algorithm might ding me because I hit two people or I hit four people. The algorithm, I must be monetized, and none of us are. We get monetized, fine. But it's just kind of cool to sit here. I've always been on the other side of the camera. This is the first time I've been on this site, and just to talk to some of these great people. And David Fox, thanks for joining. Sorry, you're probably already gone because I'm slow at uh, reading the chats. I'm trying to focus on the whole multitasking aspect, but it's just nice to talk to people. Like the Onyx and Ember event that we had. Just to finally see people's faces, and you know, I would see uh, Millie and Rob, on Joe Waters' stream. It's like they talk nice, they seem like good people and stuff like that, and they're like, "Hey, Al, join our channel." So nice subscribe. It's like, so I get to see them. I get to see them on their side of the camera and talk to them and see how they're fantastic parents, and focuses on number one, got to work. We got to work. We got to make our money and stuff like that. And then it's like, oh, it's all about my kids. My son needs this, my daughters need this, and we went and did this, and step away from social media for a few days because kid to college, going to college, son needing to work on his car, and daughters need to get ready. School's coming to an end or whatever, and they got to go to get ready for the next year. It's just kind of nice to say, I'm thinking that they're good people and such, and finding out that they absolutely are. Andrew, I don't know why I made you a mod earlier. I don't know why you're not showing up as a mod unless somebody is trolling you. Let me try it again. Because I was, I don't know if I'm clicking wrong or what, but there we go. Let's try this one more time, Andrew. Oh, dang it, AJ! A message got deleted again. I'm sorry, man. I'm sure it was a valued contribution to my channel. She's AJ, you're stupid. Gosh, Joe, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's just there you go, Andrew. Testing, testing. I did it 45 minutes ago. I don't know what happened. Like I said, my first stream, I'm expecting it to be, hit and miss, or uh, maybe I'm not drinking enough. Maybe I'm talking too much. It's just I don't know. I've got some interesting ideas. If you guys want to send me some interesting ideas for some chats, like what's behind the bar. I've got some. Uh, I've got to send Joe a bottle of 13th Colony. I've got like a dozen bottles of 13th Colony, some great bottles from Security Discount Liquor. Uh, Penelope, I like Penelope. We've just got this new 13-year Penelope State release that just came out in a nice box. Fantastic bottle, 13-year bottle of Penelope. I'm a fan of Heaven Hill. Joe, I know Joe just bought a bottle of Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill has, uh, Larceny, for example, is Heaven Hill, and Elijah Craig is Heaven Hill. So I also got this nice bottle. It's a 19-year bottle of Heaven Hill. Let me open it, clean it back, because I believe that this particular bottle wants to fall out. Dang, it doesn't even want to open. So again, 19-year bottle of Heaven Hill. It's very, very good. I have a 17-year coming in a couple of days. But like I said, I've got a lot of ideas as far as behind the bar. I just maybe behind the bar, but specific lines like 13th Colony or everything Heaven Hill or everything Jack Daniels or everything. I don't want to say Sazerac or Buffalo Trace, but just different things. Whether I do something prepping wise or something like that. Gina, thank you for that. I hope you're. I believe you as being honest, but I appreciate the kudos, I guess you will say. Alan, I haven't talked to you a whole lot, Alan, but I appreciate that you're here. And I did make Alan my first mod. He's a really good friend, and he's local. And as we've always been supportive of each other, and just like Joe Waters and way back. But I guess I'm at 92 minutes. Man, I'm surprised. My wife says I don't have the gift of gab, but seemingly talking for 90 minutes. I don't know if I still don't have the gift of gab, but it just helps that you guys have all been there, and I've been able to talk to you guys in various streams. And at this point, again, I appreciate everybody being here. What time is it? Gosh, it's only 7:30 at my house. But I know everybody else is, other than Steve and Kim, being a little bit more west than me. It's 7:30. I'm going to continue to sip. Tomorrow's a great day. I'm going down to Security Discount Liquor to get our new Bacta blend. Came in today, and whenever we do this, I always buy a case. Any pick that I help on, any pick that I go and I sip and I help on, and I give my contribution, and that pick is selected, I always, I don't know, buy a case. Let me set these back up here real quick. These 13th Colony. I'm still here. I'm just kind of ducking. So This is again a case of Art of the Spirits uh, blend, that Prohibition blend that we got, or that I helped pick. So there's 6 bottles in here. I have 3 cases down here behind me for the 3 barrels that we picked for Cutie Discount Liquor. But there are so many. But again, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'm not going to bed. Hannah, thank you very much. I didn't keep my daughter up, which is good. My son-in-law didn't keep them up. I think Joe and JP were the furthest west, and then Andrew and Sheena. We're Mountain Daylight Time now. Uh, but again, Alan, Joe, Sheena, Steve and Kim, James, uh, Joe Unfiltered. I know I'm forgetting some people. I appreciate you being here, Hannah and Keith and Hannah, even though Aunt Jackie and Uncle Doug aren't saying anything. Aunt Jackie and Uncle Doug are watching the stream too, and so they're just not commenting, but at least they're watching. So luckily, at least I have a big enough family that I have some extra uh, built-in viewers. And Joe, I just don't even know, since this is the first one, how to end this darn stream. I'm looking at all the different buttons, and I think maybe if I go over to the other tag, I see, and Jackie and Uncle Doug, you are getting a call out. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now, guys. I am not done drinking. Pulled this bottle down, so well, I guess that one I did already drink. So I'm gonna drink that other BTAC up there. But again, thank you all for joining my first stream. Now it's just nice to, like I said, we can watch whiskey one day, we can watch Joe Unfiltered another day, we can watch Joe Water another day, and now we got to get a couple more of you guys, so we have something to do. I mean, what's on TV for a lot of time is crap. Joe Waters, you gonna do a nightcap live? I'll join. I'm not. It's not my bedtime yet. So, all right, Joe, I'll watch for you too. Again, thanks everybody. First stream. You're part of history. Thank you very much.